As a young man, my guru was a bald man with black eyes who always seemed pissed off at me. He would scowl at me from the covers of his books, as if he was accusing me, I knew it, of laziness and conformity. His name was Ralph Waldo Emerson. And though he was dead, I was his bitch. I was 24 years old, I was trying to read everything he ever wrote, and I came across this sentence by him. It is because of a lack of self-culture that the superstition of traveling, whose idols are Italy, England, Egypt, retains its fascination for educated Americans. I read this as an educated American in Italy, obsessing about my lack of self-culture. Was I a traveler or a tourist? Was I bohemian or bourgeois? I grew up in a really nice suburb. So my greatest fear is waking up one day and finding out I'm bourgeois. But most of all, I worried, could I live up to Emerson's dictum of rising above the rabble and the daily grind and leading a rare and exalted life? Which is kind of funny, because what I worry about now is if I use the toaster oven while the AC is running, which one will catch fire first? But so I worried, I tossed and turned all night in my Roman youth hostel bunk bed until the sun rose and I sat up and I said, Ralph Waldo, I am going to the Colosseum. Because back then, on a daily basis, I would announce my plans out loud to Ralph Waldo Emerson. So I'm in the Colosseum, and I'm looking down where gladiators fought and died. And I say to myself, if you're going to live an Emersonian life, you are in Italy now. You need to enter into a profound historical reverie. I think about the Romans and the Caesars and vomiting at dinner and sex with a horse, and it's just not doing it. Because all I can think about is this black and white film I saw as a kid about the Colosseum and the early Christians. Spoiler alert. It ends very badly for the Christians. But seared in my mind is this image, this scene of this young woman sitting on the ground, her eyes on heaven, as a lion gnaws her neck. And now I went to Catholic school, I got the message. Up there is your reward. This world in these days, with its cruelty and disappointment, this is merely to be endured. And then right then, this impeccably dressed Italian woman sweeps past me, stops, turns, does this. And then a herd of Americans wearing football jerseys and flip-flops clomps past and gathers around her. She's their tour guide. And she says to them, here is the Roman Colosseum. It is a wonder of the world. It is built in 7 years. You say to me, how did they build a wonder of the world? Only in 7 years. I say to you, because they had the Jewish slaves. Whenever she made an excellent point, she would do this. So the Americans are silent, but I can hear them. I can hear them thinking, Jewish slaves. Back then, you could get away with that. But today, people would complain. And this is just what I need. A cheap dose of moral superiority. Those are the tourists. I'm the traveler. So I say, Ralph Waldo, I am going to walk across Rome to the Vatican. And I do. It takes me 4 hours, and I only stop for gelato 6 times. And when I get to St. Peter's Cathedral, I go in, and immediately I'm awed by this vast act of architecture with art on every surface, and dead popes in the catacombs. And it starts to happen. It starts to happen. I start to enter into a profound historical reverie. And I hear a voice clearly from the side. And it says, "Here is St. Peter's Cathedral. It is a wonder of the world." And it's her, it's the tour guide, with the Americans around her, and she's standing next to a life-size statue of St. Peter in bronze on a pedestal. And she says to them, "The Romans say it is good luck to rub the feet of St. Peter. You say to me, is this true? I say to you, I don't know. But when in Rome, do as the Romans do." And again, the Americans are silent until this huge guy in a Detroit Lions jersey, of all things, lowers his camcorder and says, "Let me at that foot." And the Americans bum rush St. Peter, knock the tour guide out of the way, and start climbing over each other to molest a saint. And watching this is the real revelation for me. I think, screw you, Ralph Waldo, with your rare and exalted life, and screw you, Catholic Church, with your celebration of martyrdom. There is only one life. It is daily life. It is here and it is now. And these people, at least, are having fun with it. So I get a running start, and I dive into the pile. And I say, "Let me at that foot." Thank you.